Let's jump right in. We're looking at the life and legacy of Ibn Khaldun. Born way back in the 14th century, this guy was a true visionary. His ideas were so incredibly far ahead of their time, they're literally still shaping how we understand society today.
Just listen to this quote from the British historian Arnold J. Toynbee. He said, "Ibn Khaldun's masterpiece, the Muqaddimah, is the greatest work of its kind ever created by any mind in any time or place." That's a massive claim, right? But it's really justified. He was laying down the foundational bedrock for sociology, economics, and history almost 500 years before European scholars even started piecing those ideas together.
So let's talk about the man himself. A life defined by tragedy, intense politics, and eventually total seclusion.
Ibn Khaldun's life was an absolute roller coaster. Born in Tunis in 1332, he was hit with unimaginable tragedy early on when the Black Death swept through North Africa and took both of his parents. You can imagine how a trauma like that profoundly shapes how someone views survival and societal shifts. Later, he dives into this wildly turbulent political career across North Africa and Spain. We're talking high-ranking administrative gigs, sudden imprisonments, exile, the whole shebang. He even ended up having a face-to-face meeting with the legendary conqueror Tamerlane right in the middle of the brutal siege of Damascus.
By 1375, he was just completely exhausted by all that endless political plotting. So he makes a radical pivot. He retreats to a fortress in present-day Algeria and spends 4 years in absolute, total seclusion. And the result of that isolation? The Muqaddimah. He decided he wasn't just going to casually record events like past historians. He wanted to dig deeper and actually discover the universal laws that govern human societies.
Which brings us to his mind, the architect of modern sciences.
The entire core of his sociology hinges on this one massive concept, asabaya. Basically, it means group solidarity or social cohesion. Ibn Khaldun realized, hey, strong social unity is the absolute fundamental glue that allows any group to rise up, grab power, and actually establish a ruling dynasty.
And this concept perfectly illustrates his cyclical view of history. It goes like this: a unified group gains power and builds a dynasty. Awesome, right? But then they get comfortable. Luxury sets in. And that luxury fundamentally erodes their original social cohesion. Ultimately, that loss of asabiyyah leads straight to their decline and collapse, making room for a new, hungrier group to take over. It's wild, because we still see this exact cycle playing out today.
When you put his methods side by side with the historians who came before him, the difference is night and day. Traditional historians were mostly just narrating events, often swallowing myths as hard facts without batting an eye. But Ibn Khaldun? He introduced the actual scientific verification of sources. He demanded to know the root social and economic causes behind historical events. That approach single-handedly earned him the title of the father of scientific historiography.
But get this, he didn't even stop at history and sociology. Hundreds of years before modern economists arrived on the scene, he was already mapping out supply and demand, the division of labor, and how wealth is actually created. He even figured out that excessive taxation ends up discouraging economic activity, which ironically reduces state revenue. That's a highly modern fiscal policy insight just sitting there in the 14th century.
Looking at his achievements laid out like this, it is just breathtaking. This one scholar from the Islamic Golden Age was functioning as a historian, a sociologist, an economist, and a political theorist all at the exact same time. He literally drew up the master blueprint for the modern social sciences, and he did it all based on his own gritty, first-hand experiences with the rise and fall of medieval empires.
So, as we wrap up this quick sketch of his life, you really have to marvel at the sheer scale of his intellect. While the rest of the world was just taking notes, he was out there uncovering universal principles. And honestly, it leaves us with a pretty fascinating question to chew on. How many other modern sciences have roots buried 500 years in the past, just waiting to be rediscovered?